Welcome. Take a moment to get comfortable. Wherever you are right now, allow yourself to settle in. Maybe you're lying down. Maybe you're sitting in your favorite chair. Maybe you're curled up in bed, because honestly, that's where a lot of life's most important thinking happens. Whatever position you're in, let your body know that for the next little while, you don't have anywhere else you need to be. You don't need to answer an email. You don't need to make a decision. You don't need to figure out your 5-year plan. You don't even need to know what's for dinner. Right now, there is nothing to solve, nothing to accomplish, nothing to prove, just you, right here. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and slowly exhale. Again, breathe in and let it go. One more time, deep breath in and exhale completely. Now allow your breathing to return to its natural rhythm. Notice the surface underneath you. Notice the weight of your body. Notice your shoulders. And if there's somewhere up around your ears right now, let them drop. Unclench your jaw. Relax your forehead. Let your hands soften. And allow yourself to arrive. Really arrive. Because sometimes we're physically in one place while our minds are already 10 steps ahead. Thinking about what happened yesterday, what might happen tomorrow, what we should have done, what we need to do. What if this happens? What if that doesn't? What if we're making the wrong choice? What if we're making the right choice and it's still terrifying? We're going to let all of that be here without needing an answer. Because this meditation is for the messy middle. That strange place in life when something is changing, but you don't quite know what comes next. Maybe you're moving, Maybe you're starting a new career. Maybe you're going back to school. Maybe you're ending a relationship. Maybe you're beginning one. Maybe you're becoming a parent. Maybe you're realizing you don't want to be one. Maybe you've reached a point where the life you built isn't necessarily a bad life. It just doesn't feel like your life anymore. Maybe you're grieving something you thought you'd have by now. Or maybe you're finally allowing yourself to want something you were afraid to admit you wanted. Maybe everything changed all at once. Or maybe nothing dramatic happened at all. You simply woke up one day and realized, I don't think I want to do this anymore. And if that's where you are, I want you to know something. There is nothing wrong with you. You are not behind. You are not failing. And you haven't somehow missed the secret meeting where everyone else received the instructions for adulthood. Because let's be honest, most of us are just making it up as we go. We were given a timeline. Go to school. Get a job. Get married. Buy a house. Have kids. Retire. And somehow we're all supposed to do this in exactly the right order, with perfect credit, while drinking enough water and remembering to rotate the mattress. But life doesn't actually work that way. Life is messy. People change, dreams change, relationships change, we change. And sometimes the bravest thing we can do is admit that something that once fit us doesn't fit anymore. So today, we're not going to force ourselves to know what's next. Instead, we're going to make space for the transition itself, the messy middle, the place between who you were and who you're becoming. Take another slow breath in and exhale. And as you breathe, imagine yourself standing somewhere peaceful. Maybe you're standing in a field. Maybe you're on a beach. Maybe you're in a quiet forest. Maybe you're somewhere completely imaginary. There is no right place. Just allow a place to appear. Notice the temperature. Notice the light. Notice what's around you. And as you look ahead, you notice a house. This house represents a chapter of your life. The chapter you're currently leaving, or the chapter you're beginning to realize you're ready to leave. You walk toward it, and when you reach the door, you open it. Take your time. Walk inside. Notice what you see. Maybe the house feels familiar. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's beautiful. Maybe it's cluttered. Maybe it's bright. Maybe it's dark. Maybe there are people inside. Maybe you're completely alone. There is no wrong answer. Just observe. As you walk through this house, imagine that each room represents a different part of your life. There may be a room filled with memories. Walk into that room. Look around. Notice the moments that shaped you. The people you loved, the places you lived, the things you experienced. The versions of yourself you became along the way. Some memories might make you smile. Some might make you uncomfortable. Some might hurt. And some might simply make you think, wow, I really made it through that. Take a moment to appreciate the person who lived through all of those moments. You don't have to judge them. You don't have to wish you'd done everything differently. Just recognize them. That was you. And you did the best you could with what you knew at the time. Now, walk into another room. This room holds your accomplishments, the things you're proud of, the things you worked hard for, the things nobody else may have even noticed. Maybe you graduated. Maybe you built a career. Maybe you survived something difficult. Maybe you became financially independent. Maybe you learned how to set a boundary. Maybe you finally left something that wasn't good for you. Maybe your accomplishment is simply you're still here. Take a moment to recognize what you've done. Now imagine another room. This room holds the things that didn't work out, the plans that changed, the relationships that ended, the opportunities you didn't get, the dreams you outgrew, the version of your life you thought were going to happen, but didn't. You don't have to stay in this room long, but before you leave, allow yourself to acknowledge that disappointment is part of transition too. You can be grateful for where you are now and still be sad about what didn't happen. Both things can be true. You can know that something wasn't right for you and still miss it. You can be excited about the future and still grieve the past. You don't have to choose one emotion. Now, walk toward the center of the house. Imagine that in front of you are several boxes. These are the things you get to take with you, but you don't have to take everything. You don't need to carry the entire house into your next chapter. So choose three things from this chapter that you want to bring forward. Maybe it's a lesson. Maybe it's a memory. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's confidence. Maybe it's resilience. Maybe it's a dream you refuse to give up on. Maybe it's simply the knowledge that you are capable of getting through hard things. Choose three. And now, there is one final box. This is the box for something you're ready to leave behind. Maybe it's perfectionism. Maybe it's guilt. Maybe it's an old identity. Maybe it's someone else's expectations. Maybe it's the belief that you're running out of time. Maybe it's the belief that everyone else is ahead of you. Maybe it's fear. Whatever comes to mind, place it in the box. You don't have to hate it. You don't have to fight it. You can simply say, I don't need to carry this with me anymore. Take one last look around the house. Thank the chapter for what it taught you. And when you're ready, walk outside and close the door behind you. Now notice where you're standing. The house is behind you, and in front of you, there is a road. You can't see the entire road. You can only see what's immediately ahead. And maybe that's uncomfortable because we really like knowing. We like plans. We like calendars. We like knowing when things will happen and what they're going to look like. But this road doesn't come with a map. And maybe that's okay, because you don't need to see the entire road. You only need to see enough of it to take the next step. As you look down the road, you notice that it splits into 3 paths. The first path represents the life you think you're supposed to choose. The path other people might expect. The path that looks safe, predictable, familiar. Look at it. Notice how your body responds. Now, look at the second path. This is the path you're afraid to take. Maybe it's a huge change. Maybe it's leaving something behind. Maybe it's starting over. Maybe it's admitting what you really want. Notice what happens in your body as you look at it. Does your chest tighten? Does your stomach flip? Does some part of you feel curious? And now, look at the third path. This represents the path you're genuinely curious about. Not necessarily the perfect path, not necessarily the path that guarantees success, just the path that makes some small part of you think, what if? Notice your body. Which path feels lighter? Which one feels more expansive? Which one creates curiosity? And remember, fear does not always mean stop. Sometimes fear simply means this matters to me. You don't have to choose a path right now. You don't have to make a decision during this meditation. Instead, simply imagine taking one small step onto the path that feels most alive to you. Just one. Take another step and another. You don't know exactly where you're going, but you're moving, and sometimes that's enough. As you continue walking, the scenery around you begins to change. The road becomes peaceful. The air feels lighter. And eventually, you see someone standing farther ahead. As you get closer, you realize it's you. A future version of you. Maybe 6 months from now, maybe 2 years, maybe 5. Don't worry about exactly when. Just imagine the version of you who has already lived through this transition. They aren't perfect. Their life isn't perfect. They don't have every answer, but they're okay. They're standing here because they made it through. Look at them. Notice their face, their posture, the way they carry themselves. Notice how they seem to know something you don't know yet. And when you're ready, ask them, what do I need to know right now? Listen. Don't force an answer. Maybe a word comes to you. Maybe an image. Maybe a feeling. Maybe nothing at all. That's okay. Now ask, what did I need to let go of? And listen. Now ask, what am I going to be proud of myself for? And finally, ask your future self, what is the next small step? Not the entire plan, not the 5-year plan, not the perfect plan, just the next step. Maybe your next step is making a phone call. Maybe it's applying for something. Maybe it's having a difficult conversation. Maybe it's resting. Maybe it's researching. Maybe it's letting yourself grieve. Maybe it's saying yes. Maybe it's saying no. Maybe it's simply giving yourself permission to not know yet. Whatever answer comes, let it be enough. Your future self looks at you and imagine them saying, you were never supposed to know everything before you began. You were allowed to be scared. You were allowed to change your mind. You were allowed to start over. And you were never behind. Take a slow breath in and exhale. Now imagine saying goodbye to your future self. You don't have to stay with them because you're not there yet. You have your own road to walk, your own timing, your own story, and you don't need to rush toward the ending. You only need to keep moving, one step, one choice, one day at a time. Now slowly bring your attention back to your body. Notice the surface underneath you. Notice your hands, your feet, your shoulders. Take a deeper breath in and slowly exhale. Wiggle your fingers, move your toes, roll your shoulders gently, and when you're ready, allow your eyes to open. Before you completely return to your day, take one final moment with these words. You can change your mind. You can begin again. You can grieve what you're leaving. You can be excited about what's coming. You can be scared and still move forward. You can take your time. You don't have to have everything figured out. You are not behind. You are not too old. You did not miss your chance. You are still becoming. And whatever chapter you're standing in right now, you don't have to know the ending. You just have to be willing to turn the page.